his mother, his wife, Sister Philosopher, and we tried it on the 500 children that he had over in West Philadelphia, and the gang stopped their warring. The gang stopped their warring in North Philly when they learned who they were. The gang stopped their warring in Germantown when they learned who they were. Now we say we're going to have the district teach it to the millions of the hundreds of thousands of the children in the Philadelphia school district. Well, I finally ran into a superintendent. His name is Mark Shea. This was in the 60s. Some of you too young to know that. And he said, you know, I've been wondering why black children fail mathematics so much. I said, let me have it. Give me a couple hundred for just a week, and I'll prove to you that their marks in math will go sky high. And he sent them to me up to Church of the Advocates came. I went up there in 1968 and took the children, and in 1 week, their mathematics went up, up, and I showed the results to the statistical department of the school district, and Mark said, I'm going to put this in the whole school district. I'm going to put this African Genesis program in the whole school district. Rizzo heard about it. And Rizzo called him, and I was in Mark Shed's office, and he called him and said, if you put that African Genesis in the school district, I'm firing you the next day. He fired Mark Shed that Monday. He said, won't be in there. So he sent in another superintendent, and the other superintendent killed him. And I just kept plotting, begging people to go down with me, fighting for our children, to give our children their sense of identity. When white children learn all about the great Caesars, and they should. They learn all about King Alfred and the Round Table and Queen Guinevere and all them people. They learn all about Constantine. They learn about Napoleon Bonaparte. They learn all about the heroes of Europe. But they don't want our children to know about Queen Hatshepsut, Queen Nzinga, King Sunni-Ali. They don't want our children to learn that Amenhotep III and his beautiful wife, King Taiyi, the richest, most beautiful kings and queens. Sunni-Ali Bir, who built an empire in West Africa from which we came. An empire larger than all of Europe. That's a couple hundred years ago. I'm not talking about 1,000 years ago. A couple hundred years ago. And this is what we want to teach our children. But no superintendent would allow. Finally, I ran into Constance Clayton.
Yeah, on the table. Where those two seats are.
Then I found out why what is about? Well, the next superintendent's name is David Hornbeck. He told me what he's white boy. He said what it is. Now, let me tell you now. This is the attack group. I mean, I don't want to spell it ATAC. I want that K on the end. Now, here's what he said. He said, Dr. Robinson, and you can use my name, and I will testify if you ever go to law school. If you ever go to a legal battle on this. The white union, the white people of the union, black people in the union too, but the white people came to him and said this: if you institute this African Genesis program in the school district, we will have your job. Just like we had Mark Shed's job, just like we would have Connie Caton's job if she had done it. Now I know what that well. I said, they told you? I said, well, and he said, why? Why can't we give the black children the same thing we give the white children? The white children learn all about the beauty and grandeur of Europe. Why can't they learn about the beauty and grandeur of Africa? Right. And they said, I'll tell you why. You're giving them a level playing field with the white kids. So you know what happens when blacks are playing in a level playing field. You know what happens if you give them this basketball on a level playing court, on a basketball court, they dominate. You give them the football, they dominate. You give them track, they dominate. We're not going to have them dominate in the school system. I said, they said, he said, I will testify to that. He said, it made me so angry, I left. Finally, in come Paul Ballas. Paul Ballas agreed. I said, I know I'm going to hear the same from you about giving our children the same thing you give white kids. He said, no, but just lay it out. Give me the documentation, the proof that it helps the children. I gave him the proof. And one of the heads of my exhibit number 1 is here tonight. His name is, I ought to call him Dr. Ali Salahuddin. He's saying I'm Ali. Come up here. Now, let me tell you what he and his wife did. He and his wife have taken 3,000 young people and children and exposed them to their identity over a 12-year period, and their marks have gone sky high and their behavior has become exemplary. That's what he did. That's what he, and took them to Africa free of charge to show them what they've been reading about. I think we should give him a hand. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because I think Dr. Ackerman did a very good thing when she gave IBS that contract, $7 million contract, and got in a lot of trouble. But the time, Paul Ballas preceded her as superintendent of schools. And Paul Ballas, when I showed him the proof of exhibit number 1, which is the dessert club that Ali and Helen formed, when I gave him the proof of Daoud and Sister Falaka Fatah, what we did for the 500 children out in West Philly. And I gave him the proof, what we did for the North Philadelphia gangs and for the lead school. He said, you got it. How should we structure this history, this African Genesis? I said, it's got to be infused. It's got to be in the same white folks' book that they've been studying out of all these years. We got to take these books, the anglicized books, 500 pages, give me 17 of those books, 9 history, and 8 science and geography, and I will infuse in the pages and the chapters the relevant African history. He said, you got it. You got it. He sent me 17 books. It took me quite some time. I was in my youth then, I was about 88. And I infuse in the chapters, in the pages of the book, the relevant Songhai and ancient Kemet history. And he said, oh, that's a well done job, and paid me 57 grand. So it isn't that it's not paid for. It isn't that it doesn't exist, because he's not going to pay me until I made it exist. But guess what happened? The books would have to be, the part that I infused with separate sheets. They'd have to be reprinted books. And they were supposed to be reprinted in 2010 with all the relevant African history in it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, the union got to him. Got to him. Let him go. And in comes Dr. Ackerman. Well, anyhow, 2010 came and went. Books were not reprinted. Now we want to have the K in attack. We need you. We need you Come on with me. Let's get this for our children. Let's do this for our children. Don't let now I don't have the luxury of time that you have. So it's got to be like as quick as possible. I feel pretty good tonight.
All right, feel good too.
But when you're at my age, tomorrow might be a entirely different story. So I need you. Dr. Michael Cord said, Ed, you'll have this we're going to present this to ATTAC as a project for our children. For the next generation of these children will not be doing what this last generation who were not exposed to the beauty, grandeur, and sophistication of their African background. And as a consequence, they kill each other at a rate 1 every 72 minutes. The time we've been here tonight, 2 have been killed, murdered by another black person. Not only a shame, it's treatable. We can stop it because this next generation will have the identity. They'll have their identity, their vitamin I. Because you're going to see to it that they do.
That's right.
You're not going to see 80% of our babies born without fathers. Fathers not knowing their job to take care of their own flesh and blood. They're not going to see that. See, you're going to stop it.
Right.
But these are the manifestations of the problem.
Right, I should.
And you'll be able to do it under the leadership of one of the greatest leaders that Philadelphia has produced, and that's Dr. Michael Cord. Let's give Dr. Robinson a standing ovation for all his work. 93 years young, Dr. Edward Robinson.
And it's really important that we follow up on what Dr. Robinson is talking about. And although he didn't expect me to call him up, I want to call up Brother Ali Salahuddin to talk a little bit more about this dessert club. What is it that Dr. Ed Robinson was speaking about in terms of how to make sure that African American children begin to think like African children? Let's call up Brother Ali Salahuddin.
Good evening. Good evening, bro. I definitely didn't expect this.